Hello everybody and welcome back for another Outback adventure. So as you guys have probably guessed already, I'm actually loving it out here in Outback Queensland, and today what I'm going to take you guys along for is the Ballara Heritage Mining Trail, something like that. And unfortunately I'm thinking I'm only going to get to do a little piece of it because, like a lot of things, it's a four-wheel drive track. I've already read about all the signs saying it's a four-wheel drive track, but I'm already like 5k's into it, so good so far. The location of this is about 60 kilometers out from Mount Isa, or approximately 60 kilometers out from Cloncurry, so smack in the middle of the two in Outback Queensland essentially for today's adventure. And this morning I have just left Corella Dam. It was really hard for me to leave, so I had actually planned on going there for a day essentially, like as into camp for the 2 nights, spend a whole day there, but I ended up spending 4 nights. And essentially the only reason that I left was because I thought I probably wouldn't have like enough drinking water and food left to do a few more adventures before I get to Mount Isa if I stayed any longer, because I hadn't stocked up to plan to be out here that long. And I mean, it's pretty dry around me. If you have a look around, you don't really want to get stuck out here without any water basically. So this mining trail actually winds its way through a couple of now abandoned mining towns that were obviously profitable back in the day and have since been abandoned. So this first site I'm at is actually called Ballara, I believe. Essentially it just talks a little bit about the mine, like how profitable it was, what they were mining, about water flowing through, all different sorts of stuff, and what remains here. But just pause it yourself if you do want to have a read. Otherwise, this for me is the interesting part. It tells me basically, obviously, like that you are here, and all these little numbered dots are supposed to be these things here. So houses, remnants of mines, all sorts of stuff. So that's what I'm about to just go have a walk around and have a look, see if I can actually find any of these remnants while I'm out here. Okay, so let's get going. So basically I've just parked up right on the side of the road. This that I'm walking or about to walk on is a road like I just showed you on that little bit of a map, but the ground here is super rocky because in that really sharp nasty rocks. So I'm not going to push it over these rocks because I just don't want to flat out here. Got no service, middle of nowhere, same the usuals. But yeah, I'm more than happy to walk around, and I think that's probably the best way as well to actually spot like old remnants of stuff. I'm just going to have a wander, and if I find anything, I'll of course show you guys. Supposed to be where I am now, the site of where a few of those old houses were. So you can definitely see like here there's a bit of rock work, sort of like maybe a garden or something. There's all like these rows of rocks. I mean, there's no actual slabs or anything that seem to be left, or nothing that I can obviously see. But there was supposed to be 3 different houses here according to the map. So definitely like a bit of stuff like that you can make out, but nothing particularly eye-catching here, sort of thing. And this is just off the track, like the road's just back there. There's a few bits of like metal and stuff scattered around, but not much actually left here now from what was here. I'm gonna walk a little bit further along this track, see what else I can find basically, but I'm not expecting there to be too much really left. I mean, this was years and years ago anyway, so the fact that there's any remnants is probably pretty good, to be honest. So there's another little bit of fork in the road here. That map I showed you before only shows the road going this way, so I'm guessing this is a bush track which would take me to the open cut mine. I could be very wrong, but at a guess I would say that is probably what this is. Okay, I've just walked up here and basically I haven't come to the open cut mine like I thought. There's a few bombed out old cars, like lots of bits of metal everywhere, and this big concrete slab. I did just have to walk up a hill to get up here, so you've got a little bit more elevation to sort of look over everything. A big concrete slab here. Obviously something used to be here. So just that concrete slab's in front of me. Looking behind me, I can actually see the road, not where I've driven yet, but the road that leads to where I came in from. So I'm thinking I will keep following this track and hope it goes down there. But as far as I can see, that doesn't match the map I was given. So whether these are new tracks or something, I don't know. But as long as I'm following a track, I know I can't get lost out here. But as long as I'm headed as well to the road, I'm hopefully in the right direction, and I'll see if I can find something else. Oh, here we go, guys. This is what we want. So there you have a bit of wire there. So I can't really see down it. They've sort of like fenced off all the sides, which I feel like is probably a very good idea. But it's interesting to see all the same. So So yeah, there's no information here, so I couldn't tell you how deep it is or anything else, but still pretty cool to come and see. As I was saying, there's a fair bit you can get to, like drive to here. Now that I'm down here, since I did keep going, I might just wander around a bit more. There's another concrete slab over to the side of me. There's something down there, more rocks, whether that's the slag pile, I'm not really sure. As I said, if they had a bit more of a descriptive map, it'd be a little bit easier. If you had what do you call it, a topographical map or something of the area, it would be awesome to come and check out some of this and have a look around. Just walking down from that mine shaft, this literally has to be like smelter formations or something, and the copper slag pile. So a few ruins in here if you're interested to see those. All right, so back along the same track, there is another one through here. That's where I came from. I'm thinking this one might be a little bit of a shortcut because nothing seems to match up with the map anyway. So I'm gonna check this one out, see if I can find any more bits and pieces again. Okay, so I did basically just walk back along that track and it didn't really go anywhere. It just led to the bush. So I walked back through the bush, which is not probably the smartest idea out here, but I didn't want to double back all the way because it's really hot. So I've just come back to the road. Okay, and just back up at that billboard. All right, so just back in the car, got the aircon running, so I'm absolutely spoiled, but it's very hot. So I'm gonna head down here. According to the first map, there's 1 kilometer and then there's another dot. Whether that's another town, I don't know, it doesn't say anything. And then there's another 13 k's until the next town from there. So I'm just gonna go as far as I can, go for a cruise, and fingers crossed get somewhere. This here is the creek crossing, obviously very dry at the moment. So this track off to the right, that's got a sign there saying to Rosebud Weir. That would be what that 1 kilometer track was, what that little dot is. So not actually a town out here, but just down to the weir that way. Okay, so I've just driven down. There's my little car. This one was a lot easier to get to, down to Rosebud Mine Weir. It doesn't look like there's a lot here, like there would normally be water like flowing probably. There's a bit of concrete, but at the moment there's just a whole heap of cows here. Like, I know this is probably cattle property, but I just feel like that's so weird. So I'm gonna go down there anyway and have a quick look. I'll show you guys before I head on off. That here is, I guess, the actual weir. So no water obviously at the moment, but I guess another just little interesting spot to come and have a look at while you're down here. I do want to show you one thing, and that is this rock. So I don't know if you can tell at the moment with the lighting there, but it absolutely shines in the sun, and I'm pretty sure it's actually mica. So this stuff is through the ground all around here. Basically it's shimmering everywhere. But I want to show you one more thing as well. So of course all through here you have termite nests, but look at this one in the sun. It absolutely shimmers, and I think that's because whether it is mica or not, whatever that mineral is, they've built it up through the termite nest and it literally glistens in the sun. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, probably not on video on the road here, but the whole thing, it just sparkles, and I think it's so pretty. It's almost like someone's just spilt glitter everywhere. So I'm about to head back off from here. It's still been pretty good, honestly, the whole way. I'm really impressed with that. Obviously lots of sharp rocks, but no major washouts. It seems to be graded. There's very little corrugation. So I'm loving it. Pretty easy drive out here. Okay, so I have made it to Ballara, which is the little rail town, mining town, basically, after which this heritage drive is actually named after. This one does look more like you do need to walk into it, so I wouldn't have had to driven there anyway, but I'm gonna have a look. Seems like there might be a bit of interesting stuff here to check out. So this is the little map they've given us this time. It really doesn't help because it's basically upside down. Obviously it's got to highway pointing straight up, but this way is to Fountain Springs, and to Fountain Springs facing back the other way, which is to the highway. So you've just got to flip it basically to get an idea, but a few different things. It obviously does tell me in here what we're looking at. So I'm about to head off just over to this side first and then jump through the gate on the other side and have a look around. So interestingly enough, the actual town here was established in 1913 and then abandoned again in 1927, so only very short-lived, but incredible what they did. They basically had demountable buildings that they could move onto Lake Cloncurry, onto anywhere else, and just relocate essentially just like that when there was no more profit to be had here. So this road off from the sign, I'm pretty sure actually is the road to Highville, to the tunnel. Whether I come down here later or not. I'm not really sure. There was a bit of a warning sort of for extreme four-wheel driving, I think it said, down here, and it is because it goes through these ranges up here. I believe that's where one of the tunnel cuttings is, basically up in the mountains, so probably not appropriate for my little car, but cool little ruins down here still. I'm pretty sure based off that little diagram that this is the train station platform, maybe something like that. So big old concrete blocks still here, lots of remnants as well. But I think I'll leave this side and this road here until later to think about. For now, I'm going to look at the town on the opposite side. So I'll jump over to this side. According to that sign, again, there should be a few old houses, or remnants anyway, of houses, shops. I think it said something like rail wagons coming from like a railway town basically. Definitely it seems like a lot more remnants actually here than at that first site. I guess this was the bigger town essentially after what the Heritage Trail is named. And a few stairs here. I guess this might have been one of the shops or houses, something like that. And then I guess you can do maybe a loop track around here. So more just concrete slabs down this way, or maybe footings, I guess, for some of those demountables that I was talking about that they had. A few trees growing through it now. But definitely you can tell there were buildings or something in here at some stage. A few more footings there. Maybe this was the edge, I'm guessing here, the edge of the railway line, something like that. Because I know that road I was just on is basically straight out there. That would make sense. And if that was the railway station platform over there, that the line would run straight through here. So a few more bits of concrete and bits and pieces, but it's hard to picture that this was basically a fully functioning town, like school, shops, houses, all of that. Okay, so back in the shade, that one was really interesting, and just because it was a bit more laid out, like there was a bit more ruins there, and it's got a physical walking track, so you don't have to just sort of like wonder if there's something in the bush there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get to Fountain Springs. It's supposed to be like a permanent flowing spring out through the rocks or something, which sounds really, really good because it is crazy hot. So I'm going to head that way. I've pulled off just here. This seems to be just about as far as the road goes, but I cannot get over those massive rock formations behind me. Just the colour up there is incredible. These beautiful oranges, but this cracked pattern through it. But I'm just about to walk down. There's no sign here if this is the springs like there has been at the other sort of spots. There was a few little turn-offs, but I just kept following what seemed to be the main road. So I'm going to walk down here and have a look. I guess there normally would be water flowing through here. It's clearly like a creek bed, but no water in it at the moment. So I'm not sure where this actual spring is as well. There seems to be a little bit of water over here. So maybe this way. Someone's obviously been having a campfire or got ready for a campfire down here. But I'm guessing this must be the springs. So just an absolutely beautiful rock pool at the bottom of these massive rocks. Check that out. I don't know where the actual spring comes from, if it's just underground fed. Still not an awful lot of water here at the moment. There's a whole bunch of tiny little fish in there. You can sort of make them out. But I love that rock formation. I would say normally that water would flow down through here as well when they get a bit of rain from all that whitewash down there. But absolutely nothing flowing at the moment. I just want to feel that water, and it's absolutely freezing. It doesn't, I mean it's clear, but it doesn't look particularly clean at the moment, and I'd say it's just because we obviously, like end of dry season, haven't had too much rain. I am basically just going to hang out here for a little while, have some lunch and chill out in this one tiny little bit of shade that I could basically find, because it's a beautiful spot, honestly. Like even without a swim, it's a really nice little just oasis in the middle of the outback. I still can't get over how cold that water is. I thought like Usually when you go to a dam or anything, there's a real hot layer on top and it keeps freezing. Really weird as well, like being out here. I've been out here most of the day, or cruising around the rest of the tracks and everything, and I haven't seen another single person since I left the highway. So wherever everyone is, you're missing all the good spots, honestly. So shame, but you're missing out. So that was my little stop off here. Basically, I've obviously just had lunch, just hung out for a little bit because it is a beautiful spot, nice little oasis sort of thing, really cute. Shame it is obviously not flowing at the moment, not a great deal of water there and looking pretty murky. So obviously not going for a swim. I am just about to head out from here now, go for a bit of that drive back, but beautiful spot. So if you are driving through that Cloncurry to Mount Isa way, I definitely recommend you give it a stop. Even just come straight through to here or check out all those concrete slabs. Like, as you saw, unfortunately not a great deal of remnants left, but this spot in itself is pretty cool. I really enjoyed that. Guys, I have just driven back through to the highway just this side of me. Obviously my little car is still in one piece. I am very happy that I got to see the little springs even though it wasn't flowing, and the ruins. It gives me a better, I think, understanding of the area. But yeah, so you guys know, you definitely can do it. It's a pretty good road, honestly, but yeah, bring a four-wheel drive if you feel like doing that, and do come check it out. It's about to head off from here, so I'll wrap up this video really quick for you. My next adventure should be out to the actual uranium mine, I believe it is, at Mary Kathleen, and the ghost town out there. That should be really interesting. So lots and lots of mining history in this area. But as usual, I do thank you for joining me in this video, and I hope to see you guys all back on my channel soon.